So today I'm going to give you a free way on how to get employees. This is going to work time and time and time again. But before we even get to that, let me tell you about how this even came about. So I'm on my way to the office today, and I get up in the morning, hop in my truck, and I'm headed over. Now we moved not too long ago, so I'm about 35-40 minutes away. It's a nice little drive. I'm in the truck, I'm listening to my motivational stuff, and I'm thinking about all of the things that I need to do today. Today is going to be a very busy day. I have to contact clients. I got to, follow up with clients. I got to follow up with everyone in my pipeline. I got to send out, there's a lot of stuff going on, and all of the things that's going on. I'm actually putting the finishing touches on the course. The course will be out within the next 7 days. But while all of this stuff is going through my mind, I'm thinking about a video that I did not too long ago. And in that video, I'm talking about 2 employees that I hired that actually stole from me. If you haven't seen the video, I'll go ahead and put it up top. So I've hired enough people, and I know that people who do things that don't align with your company and that you bring into the company, that's kind of inevitable. You're going to run into those people. You're gonna hire bad people, right? It's just part of it. If there was something that I could create and I could invent a foolproof way for you to never hire another bad person, I would be a trillionaire, right? Because every business and every industry all struggle with the same thing, right? We're all struggling with being able to keep, retain quality employees. So back to the video that I posted. I'm okay with the outcome, right? It didn't hurt us. I actually learned a lot from it. One of the comments though that kind of stood out to me was a guy was saying I have to look at it. I'm not sure if it was a guy or girl, but he said that this is one of the reasons why we're afraid to hire people. And the reason why it stood out to me was because, that comment resonated with me so much. I remember being at the point when I was afraid to hire people, when I was afraid to let what I've built, the little thing that I built at that time, I was afraid to let it go. I was afraid to put it in the hands of other people. And I just sat there and I thought about it. And I was just like, you know what? I know exactly where this person's coming from because I've been there. I've been in those shoes. I know what that feels like. Right. And I just couldn't help but think and take myself down that path. And it was, I remember having accounts, getting more accounts than I could do. And struggling to try to find people, struggling with the mind, struggling with developing the mindset to even go ahead and try to find people, right? And I'm not saying this is where he's at, but that comment that person made brought me back to this place, and this is where I was mentally. I was struggling to adapt the mindset that in order for me to grow, I'm going to need to first grow my systems and open the doors and let people in so that the system can run smoothly, right? This is where I'm at. And it was one of those things where it's just like, okay, this is too much. This is too much work for me to handle. I need to bring people in. Now, the mistakes that I made are all things that I learned from, right? And this was one of the mistakes that I made. So the very first mistake that I made when it came time for me to hire someone was waiting too long. What do I mean by waiting too long? So we had more accounts than we could manage, more accounts than, when I say we, it was me and my wife. Like it was at the beginning, like we were getting it in. So it was more accounts than we could manage on our own. My biggest mistake was hiring like the first 2 or 3 people that I came across, right? Oh, you want a job? I got a job. You're hired, right? That was wrong, right? And what I will say is this: it's always better to have a list of prospects, a list of people who want jobs and not have a job to give them yet, than it is to have a long list of jobs and no one to work them, right? So it's always better to have people and not need them than to need people and not have them, right? That's what I'm going to say from an owner standpoint. Because if you have people that you don't quite yet need, that means that you've done some level of due diligence, whether it's you've already interviewed with them, All of their paperwork checks out, whether you ran background checks on them, whatever your due diligence looks like to bring people in, you've already started that process. In that way, when jobs do come open, come available, you have a pool of people to pull from. So you always want to not necessarily be hiring, but you always want to be accepting applications, right? So that was the first mistake that I made, is not doing that. The second mistake I made was not paying attention to the red flags. So let's talk about the red flags really quick. So the red flags actually start to happen before you even get to the interview process. So what do I mean? Like, how do you see a red flag if you're not even at the interview process? So red flags would be, if you, let's say you reached out to someone, or someone reached out to you through Facebook, they seen an ad, they seen something, you posted somewhere, and they find you, you're on Facebook. Red flags to me are people who have unprofessional representations of themselves online. And I'm not here to people's personal Facebooks or whatever, that's their own business. But if you reach out to me through Facebook, or you reach out to me through, Instagram or whatever, right? And you're looking for a job, and your pictures and all of that stuff don't reflect the type of person that I want to have in my company, that's a red flag, right? So we may not even get to the point where we're doing an interview, right? That's red flag number one. Another red flag is, let's say all your social media and everything like that checks out, everything looks good. This is for people who reach out to me on Facebook, right? And everything looks good. And we actually set up to do our interview. Let's say we set it up to do it on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, right? Tuesday, 10 o'clock, we're supposed to do an interview. Tuesday at 9:30, I'm already there. I'm there, I'm waiting, I'm making sure I'm prepared. Tuesday, 9:55, I don't see you. Tuesday, 9:57, I don't see you. Tuesday, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., I do not see you, right? 10:10, I don't see you. 10:15, I don't see you. 10, after that, I'm leaving. I don't see you, I don't hear from you, we're gone, right? But then I get a call at 11 o'clock, 11:30. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Such and such happened. I wasn't able to make it. Can we reschedule? That in itself is a red flag. One, because that shows that you're not respectful of other people's time, right? So and I understand, like, things do happen, right? Things happen. You may have gotten into an accident. You weren't able to call. Maybe there's a lot of reasons why that could happen, right? But how that should look is, I receive a call an hour to 2 hours ahead of time, ahead of 10 o'clock. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry, my babysitter cancer. This happened. Da, 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 da. Can I come at 12? Can I come at 11? Can we reschedule for another day? Those things still are off-putting, because I may have other things scheduled for those days, but that's a lot more respectable than not showing up and then trying to fix it on the back end later. That's a red flag. So all of these things that I'm telling you about right now, these are all things that I experienced. These are all things that happen in our company. This isn't something that I just thought about one day and I'm just going to go ahead and make a video about it. These are all things that actually happen, right? So paying attention to the red flags, that's something that you definitely want to keep in mind when it comes to hiring people. First, you want to make sure you just have enough people to hire before it's even time to bring them in, to make them actual employees, and then just paying attention to all the red flags. And that'll definitely slow down the amount of negative employees that you get. But the truth of the matter is this is what it is. Like, once you hire someone, once you entrust them with keys, alarm codes, and they're in those buildings by themselves, in the middle of the night or in the evening when no one else is around you, there's really no way to tell what it is that they're doing, right? And I tell all of our employees, like, hey, listen, all of our accounts have cameras. Some of the cameras you cannot see, and for the most part, it's probably only 10% of the employees that we've hired we had to let go because they were this is really, like, one or two we had to fire for stealing, but that's typically not a problem. It's maybe 10% of the people that we hire give us problems. The other 90% are perfectly fine, right? But this is just one of the things you have to think about. Now, if you just say, hey, I want to stay small. I want to operate with me by myself, or me and my wife, or me and my general family. That is completely fine, right? Because everyone's goals aren't the same. Everyone's goals are going to be a little bit different, right? And that's perfectly fine. But if you want to get yourself to a position, or you want to get your business to a position where it has grown to the point where you're essentially collecting mailbox money. So mailbox money is like I will work probably I'll work on the business maybe like 17, 18 hours a week, maybe, right? But money is constantly coming in, right? Money's constantly coming in. It's got go check the mailbox. We got money. We get deposits. Like it's constantly coming in. It didn't, and the only reason why it's able to come in is because the system allows it to happen. But there would be no system without people, right? So we need to have quality people in here, and they're working the system that I created. I just got to make sure that the wheels stay greased and that things are still moving in the right direction. I have people are constantly working, people are constantly doing stuff. But if you want to, if you want to stay small, and that's perfectly fine, then you'll be able to achieve your goals just by by not hiring. You don't have to hire. There's no rule that says if you start a commercial cleaning company that you have to hire, you have to grow. There's no rule that says that. You can do what's comfortable for you. But for me, I knew that I wanted to get the company to a position where I can use this as a springboard to go on and do other things, right? So everyone's different. It's just a matter of if what you're doing aligns with your goals, right? But just know, like, every company is going to have problems with hiring, or with bringing people in, or maintaining quality staff. It's just a part of the thing. Fortune 500 companies go through the same stuff. But with all of that said, I was thinking, like, back during the pandemic. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this freeway right now. Back during the pandemic, I was thinking, like, how can I attract quality workers? How can I attract workers? And this thing, it just came to me, right? I was sitting down one day, I was writing, I was filling out my journal, and then it just came to me. And this is what I did. And it still will work. I got online, I created a flyer, right? I created myself a flyer, put all the information that was pertinent to the job. I went to Office Depot, I made some copies just to do a test run. I think I made maybe 25, 30 copies just to test it out. And then what I did was I thought about it. I said, okay, I need workers. Where do workers frequent? Where are the type of places that they go, right? And I wanted to make these flyers work for me in a way that was extremely efficient. So, I'm thinking about where they go, and then it's like, okay, most of the cleaners who come in, or at least most of the cleaners that I'm targeting, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be homeowners. They're just not going to be. There's not enough money in this to become a homeowner, especially in this market that we're in, right? So I'm like, okay, I can look at where they'll be, but I know where they're going to live. So what I did was I started targeting the areas where they would be. So that's the apartment complexes, the apartment complexes around Walmarts, the apartment complexes around like the 7-Elevens, or different areas. I would pick my sections of town of where I would go to target these people. Now it's really easy. It was a really easy sell for me to go in. So what I would do is I would go in, and I knew that people were struggling to either just not paying their rent or struggling to pay their rent. So I would go and I would speak to the manager of these apartment places, and I would let them know, hey, my name is Marcus. I'm with such and such company. I know that, it's times are hard, and sometimes some people are struggling to pay their rent. This is what I have to offer. I want to know, is it okay if I leave a few of these flyers here with you? And if any of your tenants are looking for a second job to make things easier for them, whether it's to pay their rent, buy groceries, buy gas, whatever, can I leave this flyer with you? And then you show this to them. And, that way they can apply for a job so they get extra income. Not a single manager, not one, said no. Everyone said absolutely. Now, here's 2 things that you're going to want to do. The first thing, I'm going to tell you this. if you can get the manager to accept flyers and then take the flyer and then tape it to the receptionist desk, so you can't take it, they can, oh, this is our last one, just take a picture. They take a picture of it, boom, that one flyer serves the purpose of all of them. That way it doesn't have to leave. Or if they're inside of a they could tape it to the wall, right? You could tape it and the people can come take a picture of it. That will serve its purpose. But here's the main thing. Here's the main piece to remember about this. There's a very specific time on when you want to go up to these offices, okay? You want to go to these offices between the 25th of the month and the 28th of the month. And the reason why you're going to the apartment complexes between the 25th and the 28th is because people are going into the office. They're going back to back to back to back. They're going in to pay their rent, or they're going in to give notices like they're moving, or they're going in to negotiate because they're not going to be able to pay their rent. This is when they're getting the most foot traffic. So you want your flyers there then. You put your flyers there then, and you're going to get so much you're going to get so many people calling you, so many people emailing you, right? And this is just a free way that will always work. This is a marketing tip, right? This will always work. You'll always be able to get employees. Now it's up to you whether you bring those people in and to do your due diligence to make sure that they're going to be a good fit for your company. But guys, that's it for today's video. I'm about to go ahead and hop off. But like I say, man, in the game of business, spectators are only going to watch. Hustlers get into the game so they can win. Guys, I'm always dropping jewels. Just make sure you're in position to pick them up. You do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.